What's up and what's good, everybody? I'm Jack Harrison alongside David Mitchell, and welcome to week number 6 of the PrepZone football preview. And you probably noticed over there that, well, off camera, Dayne's chair is empty. He's not here. He's in Nashville, and we'll have a return, and I'm almost frightened to put this on air, a return of Dayne's World.
Sure, we'll have llamas or whatever that. What was it? What was the animal he had?
Where are you gonna find a llama in
I don't know.
Nashville,
He had some picture of wasn't it a llama or something?
I think it was an alpaca.
An alpaca.
But that was in his apartment. Where are you gonna find a llama in Nashville, Tennessee?
He'll find something.
Oh well, but that should be interesting. That's later in the show. But first, we're gonna get down to business here, back in the Chattahoochee Valley. Region 5. What's the dog? 1-5A.
That's what it is. Region 1-5.
1-5A. I'll get it right eventually.
The one we've talked about all year about
exactly, and
the parity and the exciting games coming up.
Speaking of parity and exciting games, we can take you back to Connect Stadium Friday night, and
you gonna roll the tape?
do I have to
roll the tape?
Oh no!
You did that to yourself, Jack. You say when you teed it, that was a big old meatball.
It was bad enough that I was there in the first place. Okay.
You can't set that up for me and not expect me to knock that one out. You know?
Come on, man.
Hey, you started
anyway. My Shaw Raiders lost to the Northside Patriots on Friday night. It was a very close game throughout. Nathan Robinson kicking the game-winning field goal with 9 seconds left in regulation.
I do a column every Saturday. We call it our Sunday best. It comes out Saturday night, but runs in the paper on Sunday. He was my top performer for that specific reason. I mean, a game that could decide the playoffs. 9 seconds to go, tie game. He kicks a 41-yard field goal. Doesn't get any more clutch than that. For a position that gets a lot of praise and a lot of blame.
Oh yeah.
He came up big.
You gotta hand it to him, man. Another person you gotta hand it to is Kalen Watts, man.
Yeah.
I got to the game at halftime, so I saw the entire second half of the game. And Northside, they basically said Kalen Watts was gonna win the game for us.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't at the game, but I think what we've talked about with Northside is that they've kind of established a pretty physical brand of football,
and that's
what they try to do, and they try to run the other team into the ground, and
that's what happened.
Yeah, they kept Shaw's elite offense.
They kept BJ. They had
minimized their opportunities.
Here's a stat for you, since you like to bring up stats.
Bring me a stat.
Northside's first drive in the second half. 7 minutes, 21 plays.
There you go.
If you want to keep a superstar quarterback like BJ Knight off the field, that's how you do it.
Run off half the third quarter.
And it ended with a Kalen Watts touchdown with about 35 seconds left in the third quarter, which tied the game.
And it's good to have win the time of possession battle, but it's only good when you get points at the end, and Northside was able to get the points and set themselves up for a big win. And now, this week they go into another potential big game, though we haven't, Harris County hasn't started region play yet. They had a bye week. Only one win this year, but this is still a team that we feel like is well coached, has some talent, some young talent that, as they improve, will become a more complete.
I feel like Harris County is the great unknown in this region, because I feel like we've seen enough of all the other teams in the region: Carver, LaGrange, Shaw, Northside, but Columbus,
to know a little bit what to expect.
We get a feeling that we know what to expect from all these teams.
Right.
We haven't seen a lot of Harris County. The only time we've really gotten to see them is when they played Central.
Right. Right, and and I don't know that that's the best barometer when you're playing a team like Central.
I don't believe that, because honestly, I think most teams that play Central are not going to win.
Right, and again, that was their first game of the season, Central's second game of the season, and they're playing a very talented football team, and again, Harris County lost so much that, it's understandable that they were going to struggle early on. Now we get a chance to see them in a region game against Northside, a team that is a playoff contender. And this could be a lot like the game last week. Not necessarily the score, maybe, but in the fact that it is going to have some region implications down the line, I think. I think the top two teams are beginning to separate a little bit. I think Carver and LaGrange are starting to get back on their game.
I think the big challenge for that will come this week as well, because LaGrange comes on down to Memorial to face Columbus.
And that's another big one. And look, last week, Columbus, the score didn't look good. It was 30-3, and the frustrating thing I know for Columbus is that they had opportunities because of the turnovers. And
I don't have enough fingers to count how many there were in the first half.
There were 12 in the first half, 13 overall, but that was the difference. And look, we're making light of it, but it was a muddy, sloppy, wet game. It was difficult to hang on to that football.
Yeah, I don't envy that at all.
No, but the difference was Carver learned how to hang on to the ball into the second half, and they learned how to get some points and move the ball a little bit. They figured out what they could and couldn't do, and Carver kind of gifted Columbus a little bit with those turnovers in the first half to keep the game close. I think it was 13-3 at halftime. But in the end, Carver's just got a lot of firepower. And as crazy as it sounds, I think that game showed me more from Carver than any of the other games we've seen from them this year. I think that was their best game, even with the 6 turnovers. I think that was their best game because they were given every reason to play a close game and have to scratch it out by the skin of their teeth, and they did a good job.
We're talking a extremely hot team in Columbus, undefeated coming off a massive win over Marion County the week prior. We're talking about horrific weather conditions, terrible field conditions.
And I think that all favored Columbus because it keeps Carver's biggest weapon is Jawan Pass, and it nullifies him because you can't pass the ball, in that weather. So it really helped Columbus out, and Carver's I think that really impressed me for them. And now Columbus facing LaGrange, maybe right there, maybe the second best team in the region right now.
And my philosophy on this is, which LaGrange is going to show up.
Right.
Is a LaGrange that, gets the running game going, then airs it out deep, runs the offense through LaPerry and Perry show up, or will LaGrange that's, struggle, against the games against Spalding, for example.
Right.
Let's switch off of 5A for a second. We're going to switch on down to Alabama, 7A. It's another rivalry game.
Another big game.
Oh, yeah. It's Mill Station and Central down to Gary Harrison. And Central so close last week.
Yeah.
Pulling it off against Opelika.
It's nobody likes to lose.
No.
And I'm not going to, sugarcoat anything for Central. They have 2 losses. They don't like to have 2 losses. But they were non-region losses.
And they were close non-region losses.
Against 2 teams that are going to go far in their respective playoffs, Opelika and Stockbridge. Central is learning very quickly that it's not a perfect football team. There were a lot of people coming in, myself included, to start this season saying that Central was maybe the best team in Alabama, one of the best teams in Alabama, and I think they are. But there are deficiencies on the team right now, one being the offensive line needs to play better. The running game needs to become more consistent, and they still need to find that offensive threat that they can rely on game in and game out. Their defense is going to do fine. They played a tough Opelika team last week, and Opelika was able to do some things, but offensively, Central has questions that maybe weren't as clear before the season, but now we see them a little bit more, and I think that's only going to help them going forward because they know what they need to address, and with the coaching staff like they've got, they're addressing it. And this week, it's going to be a big one because it's a rivalry game, because it's a region game, and in effect, this will more or less give Central the region unless it just collapses. If they win, might be a bigger game for Smith Station, though. They've got a region loss. Can't afford another one if they want to remain contenders for the region championship. So a lot riding on this for Smith Station as well.
And I think this could potentially be a coming out party for Smith Station. Last year they played Central tough.
They did. They played Central real tough. Their offense was, whereas they went backwards all game against Prattville last year, they were able to have some success against Central. Now Central's defense is a lot better this year than it was last year. So a lot of the same players, but the execution is just night and day better.
I think one of the more underrated quarterbacks in our viewing area is Dalton Seekfield.
And he's doing a great job both in the passing and the running game. And what I think is the difference in what you talk to Jason Dukes, he says the same thing. The difference between Smith Station last year, their offense, and Dalton Sinkfield last year and this year is that they've got protection up front. Last year it was a whole new offensive line, very similar to what Harris County had to start the year. And it's difficult when you're trying to run behind a whole new group because it's not just one guy. It's not just a line. An offensive line has to be in sync with each other and what the other person is doing, a chemistry amongst the offensive line. And if you haven't played any games together, you don't have that.
No.
So they're more experienced this year. They've got a better grasp of what they're trying to do. KJ Johnson's running the ball well in the run game, and Sinkfield's taking what the defense has given him, and he's not, he's not trying to force it. He's not having to force it. He's getting more time, and that makes a huge difference.
All right, two things right here. One, who would have thought that we'd be talking about Central in the position they are after losing Zion Webb at the beginning of the season?
Yeah, I mean, it would have been at least getting the win. I expected them to do well, but getting the win over Prattville was a tall task.
Huge.
When we saw Zion Webb go out, but here we are.
And not only that, another thing, we both, we heard about Coach Dukes.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure we hope he have a speedy recovery, and we want to see you back on the sidelines soon.
Yeah, and in fact, I was over there today, sat down with him. He was back in his office. Don't know if he was back out at practice yet, but he was in good spirits. He was kind of laughing about the whole thing. Says just one of those things that you just don't expect and you got to deal with. And he expects to be out there Friday. And
that's great. That's great news.
Yeah.
That's great news.
Yeah.
All right, so it's that time. He's not on the desk. He's in Nashville. So, ladies and gentlemen, the return of Dayne's World from Nash Vegas. Take it away, Dayne.
Jack, David, I always miss you guys, but I'm just saying, look around at this right now. Beautiful Nashville, Tennessee. But even while we're up here, the PrepZone preview never stops. Bringing back Dayne's World for you, Jack. And I'll tell you a couple games I'm interested in this week. Obviously, Marion County and Pacelli. What's going to happen in this? Will Marion County continue their streak of really being the king of single-A football in the state of Georgia? I think that they will. But Pacelli, remember how close they came last year. Central and Smith Station, it doesn't seem like it gets any easier for Central. But this could be a statement for Smith Station as 7A football in Alabama. It could get quite interesting if something strange happens here. It is a rivalry game. So I'm interested to see how that goes. All I know is that in Nashville, all the food is good, all the women are beautiful. Look at the scenery. It's fantastic. I don't know if I'm coming back. Okay, I am, because the PrepZone's on Friday, but I'm going to enjoy everything about Nashville. Okay, I didn't really jump in the pool, but I was going to, I promise you. Bye.
Well, I hope we're back next week.
Yeah, I don't know what Dayne did. It'll be a surprise when we see it too. I don't, he's probably climbing over some desks. Probably.
How many desks do you think they have in his hotel room or wherever he was?
If they've got one, he's on top of it. So, and he's probably doing a whole lot of shout outs for you to cut to a whole bunch of highlights and stuff.
I hope not, man.
That would not surprise me.
Like I said, I have a day turnaround on this week, so I would really hope that he would be considerate of that.
You should probably send him this, and
I will not send him this.
Take the hint, Dayne.
He will see this on Friday. He can do all that when he comes back. Anyway, let's talk Friday Night Tailgate Game of the Week. And it is another huge
another big one.
single A matchup between Marion County and Pacelli. And I think Region 4 single A is more wide open than it has been in recent memory.
Yeah, I think this is the crossroads, right, on Friday with Pacelli and Marion County, because it could be that Marion County wins this game easily, moves on, does the Marion County thing, wins the region, goes on to playoffs, makes us overtime. That old chestnut. But or Pacelli only lost by 3 in this game last year. They've got a lot of athletes back. Trey Sudbury is doing a good job at quarterback, and
they blew out Dooley County last week.
And they blew out Dooley County last week. Even though they lost to Greenville, they responded well.
Honestly, I think the Vikings are on a mission. Because let's just be honest. And even though I say Greenville is a talented team, Greenville is a very talented team.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people sleep on them because, let's be honest, it's in Meriwether County. And Greenville is not a decent team for a long time, but they were a playoff team last year. But a lot of people slept on them, and then it came to bite Pacelli.
Yeah.
And I don't think they were looking forward to that.
And then I think some people got on board with Greenville, and maybe it came back to bite Greenville when Brookstone came and beat them last week. So this region, it's fun because you got to put Brookstone back in the mix now.
We had to put Brookstone back in the mix last week. We got to put them in a region championship mix now.
Yeah, but and that's why I say I think this game could be kind of a turning point for the region, because if Marion County wins, it has the edge. Pacelli's already got 1 loss. So I think if Pacelli loses this game, you can pencil it out of the region championship race, because Marion County, even if they lost 2 games, they would have to lose 3 games
and that's not happening.
Probably not, unless
all heck breaks loose.
Right, exactly. So that would kind of narrow it down, I think, to Brookstone and Marion County in the region. So big game this weekend. Pacelli has been looking to get over that hump for a long time. They get him at home this year. Lot of athletes. Again, we talked about this when Essang Bassi faced off against Lorenzo Smothers in that Columbus Marion County game. We got Dre Bowman and Lorenzo Smothers in this one, and
equally as talented.
Yeah, but both very good athletes. I think why I think Pacelli has a good chance. Experience at the quarterback position.
Yes.
Trey Sudbury has done a good job. He's just controls that offense. Like I spoke with Alan Griffin this week, and he's telling me, it's no secret that we run the option. We're going to run the football. Everybody knows it. Everybody in the stadium, everybody outside the stadium, anybody who follows football in this area knows, and around the state knows that Pacelli's going to run the football, run the option. Trey Sudbury, it takes a good quarterback to be able to execute that, to make the right reads in the option, and take the pass when it's there. And Sudbury's done a great job of that so far. And Pacelli's just a little bit more experienced at the quarterback position. And if all else is equal, Pacelli might have a little bit of an edge. Now, I don't know if all else is equal. Marion County's a great football team. They got a great defense. So, in short, it's going to be a really good football game.
It was fun last year.
Yeah.
It was fun last year. I suspect it will be even more fun this year.
And
with so much more on the line.
And like Mary out in Buena Vista, the great atmosphere that they put on, you get the same thing at Pacelli. A lot of great fans. Yeah.
a great atmosphere.
It's going to be a lot of fun on Friday night, I think, and good ground-based football, a lot of runs. It'll be a quick one unless there's penalties, that kind of stuff. I think it'll be a quick game.
Track meet.
Yeah, it will be. Could be.
And that is our Friday night tailgate game of the week down at Diamond Field, 5 and 6 o'clock on first and evening edition.
I'll be there.
Mitchell will be there. I don't know. They might put you on there. I don't know. That's not my call. So Mitchell will be there, so you can say hey to him. You can also say hey to meteorologist Carmen Rose, who will be filling in for Bob Jeswald this weekend. So she will be doing our Friday night tailgate. And scores, highlights, and more on the Prep Zone Friday night at 11:15, 10:15 Central. Dayne Young will be back from his sabbatical to Nash Vegas, hopefully making some rational decisions up there.
We'll have a little bit more noise on the desk next week, I'm sure.
No, this probably.
This was way too smooth. This went way too smoothly tonight.
Yeah, I mean this. Just
churn it out, man. Well.
I mean, no chaos, no desk jumping, no camera flipping.
No running off set.
No walking off the set, no singing.
You know what, Jack? I'm going to walk off the set.
I'm not letting you walk off the set, Mitchell, not before I do it. So,
just throw the Twitter handles on a blank screen at the end.
I mean, we're still on. They can still hear our mics.
This is way too close.
It is kind of close.
You can stick here. I'm going to go back here.
This is kind of big, isn't it?
It's way too close.
Anyway, where you heading, Mitchell?
I'm Marion County and Pacelli.
Yeah, Marion County, Pacelli.
Short memory.
Yeah. That's what happens when you've been working in the news industry too long. Even though I've only been doing it for 2.5 years. Anyway, I'm road tripping. I will be in Russell County and Seal, and I will see you Friday night in Eufaula as well.
Long trip. Get those miles in.
Oh yeah, getting the miles in this Friday. So enjoy the games. Follow us on Twitter, LE Prep Sports. Dayne Young is at Dayne Young. I'm at J Patterson TV. Follow the WRBL Sports Twitter handle. We'll have scores, highlights, and send us the fan pictures too. Send us everything you got. You might put it on TV. Anyway, we hope you enjoyed this episode. Go out and enjoy the games. We'll see you for week 7 of the PrepZone football preview. Wave bye to the people, David.
Bye-bye.